Hello everyone, welcome back to VENKANNA ENGLISHGURU. Friends, if you are so seriously preparing for this AP-TET examination, AP-TET paper 2A, friends, remember. So if you are so seriously preparing for English literature or and TET paper 2A for School State English or TGT English, guys. So this video is for you. Okay. So as you know, guys, you are going to write the TET examination very shortly on 9th. So in this video, I will take definitely for more than 1 hour. Okay, this video is going to be, and I'll give you some brief idea about many things. First, I'll talk about, and I'll give you complete analysis of paper 2017 and 2018 paper. Okay, paper 3. So how English literature bits were given. Okay, based on the concepts like English literature. So that's we are going to talk. Okay, friends, under notification for AP-TET examination. So roughly, directly, let me go into the topic. Let me go into the topic and syllabus for AP-TET. You know, so I'll be giving you some basic idea with regard to. So we are not going to talk about this general English. So we'll be talking about only literature, only English literature. This is also with regard to, so you can see when we check. Okay, so this is also not required. Let me go into the topic directly. Friends, when we check paper 3, 2018, okay, paper 3 and 2018, directly we'll go back to the concept. Okay, we'll come back from, and this I'm not going to talk, and if want, I'll give you. In realizing communication, one of the following is most important: grammar sequences or spoken language vocabulary equation, or in realizing the communication aim, one of the following and is most important: spoken language. Spoken language is very important, remember. Next, language is primarily a spoken form. This statement highlights the importance of oral work, oral skills. Language is primarily speech because it gives a lot of priority for spoken skills, both listening and speaking. The test that aim at identifying learner's strengths and weaknesses. Learner's strengths and weaknesses, and you need to focus on diagnostic tests. Okay, not required. I don't think so. If you require a lot of information based on pedagogy, you check through. There are nearly 40 videos on pedagogy. You just go through if you like, because as my main intention here is to talk about literature. In a dictionary, at the top of every page, we find these two words are called guide words and end words to locate the words. Next, C.J. Dodson advocated and what? Bilingual method. So answer is here 4. Next, every good piece of writing is marked by good handwriting, good appropriate vocabulary and structures, cohesion and coherence, and correct spelling and punctuation. Every good piece of writing is marked by cohesion and coherence. Next, language laboratory is a place where you can keep all the required, have audio materials for practicing. So answer is 2. Next, appreciation is one of the major important skills, objectives of teaching poetry, remember. So answer is here poetry. Next, the skills associated with audiolingual method, audio listening, lingua that is used with the tongue. So answer, so listening and speaking. 2. The main objective of teaching English are to make people acquire listening, speaking, and to make people acquire all language skills. So answer 4. Next, yes, literature we are talking about. Friends, you can see Milton's Lycidas verse. It's an example for pastoral elegy. It is actually written on the death of his close friend and his close friend Edward King. So you will get bits. So based on literature, you will get bits. Milton's Lycidas, which is an example for pastoral elegy. Pastoral elegy. Okay. Elegy. What is elegy? This is written on the death of Edward King. Edward King. Edward King and Milton were close friends, studied B and M English literature at Cambridge University at the time, and they came back and settled in their own villages. And Suddenly, after a couple of years, his friend Edward King died, one of his roommates, and he was not happy because of his close friend's death. Hence, he composed Lycidas. So, Lycidas, this is actually which you can say pastoral elegy, which means an elegy that is written on the death of an important person. Elegy, a poem written on the death of a person. Pastoral elegy, written on the death of an important person. So, Lycidas, this is actually modeled on Virgil's Aeneid. Virgil also composed popular popular elegy, pastoral elegy, that is Aeneid. So this is based on that. So Virgil's Aeneid. Okay. So simply elegy refers to a poem composed on the death of a person. Shoka Geetika, చనిపోయినప్పుడు రాసేటువంటి పద్యం. Important వ్యక్తి చనిపోతే pastoral elegy. Like the origin of ode, friends, see, ode refers to a long narrative poem that is written in a grand style and that is written and Pindaric in style, public in proclamation, okay, classical in prototype, okay. So this the concept of ode was popularly used by first introduced by Pindar, okay. Pindar, Greek or Latin or American or Germany, so answer Greek, okay. So Greek in Pindar. So the origin of the word ode, it's Greek. Popularized by Pindar, ode can be categorized into three: regular ode, irregular ode, oration ode. Regular ode is popularized by and Pindar. Regular ode is also called Pindaric ode, and irregular ode, which is also called Abram and Caulean ode. This is popularized by Abram Caule. Oration ode is popularized by Horace, Roman Horace. Okay, next. Odes are usually composed in more than 100 lines, 150 lines, more than 50 lines, like Ode on the Intimations of Immortality. Okay, nearly 150 plus lines. And Tintin Bay, 164 lines. And Ode to the West Wind, 103 lines. Ode to Nightingale, 80 lines, like lengthy poems. Next, you can see the king murdered by Macbeth in the beginning of the play was, and Zhou Kang Wang of China, Edward the King, Edward of England, the Thane of Cawdor, and Duncan. Very simple bit. So who is the king in Macbeth? Duncan, and Duncan was killed by Macbeth in this. So the Macbeth, Shakespeare's greatest tragedies, four, and Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth. So king was murdered. The king murdered. Who is that king? Duncan, killed by Macbeth. Next, you see, King Duncan faces not only his own rebellious kingsmen, but also an invasion by King Sweno of the Norwegians. This happens in Macbeth in Dash C. So, the King Duncan faces not only his own rebellious kingsmen, but also an invasion by King Sweno of the Norwegians. This happens in Macbeth and Act 1, Scene 2. So, at the beginning only. Next, the location of setting of Act 5 Macbeth, friends, you can see very important. They will ask very important questions. So the location of the setting for Act 5 of the Macbeth was Inverness, not Inverness, and Dunsinane at Flyer Forest. So Inverness, which is actually the castle of Duncan. Okay, castle of Duncan. It is not Inverness and Forest, and you just better check. So by this, I can suggest you guys you need to go into the deeper. Okay, deeper of every setting. The following is not apparition shown to Macbeth by the witches. Okay, there are three apparitions, three spirits that appear in Macbeth. And armored head, a bloody dagger floating in mid-air, a bloody child, a child crowned with a tree in his hand. So, answer the following is not. Answer is year 4. A child crowned with a tree in his hand. No. Armored head appears, a bloody dagger floating in middle air, a bloody child. So here the answer is 2. Okay, these three: armored head, bloody child, a crowned child. These three appear in this Macbeth. So try to focus on the thing that moved the widow. The widow in the poem Home They Brought Had Marriott Dead. Home They Brought Had Marriott Dead. It's a popular poem written by Alfred Tennyson in 1847 and under the title The Princess. The thing that moved the widow in the poem Home They Brought Had Marriott Dead. The lifeless corpse of her husband, the flesh and blood child, the words of a neighbor, the words of people. The thing that moved the widow in the poem, the lifeless corpse of her husband, the flesh and blood child. So answer is 2. So the nurse rose and keeps the child in her arms by looking at the flesh and blood of the child, and she and she cries like summer tempest. Friends, I made a video on Home the Brought Warrior Dead on YouTube. If you have not watched, you can watch it for a better clarity. Okay. Next, in the poem Anecdote for Fathers, the poet's family moved from Kilby to Lisbon. Kilby to Lisbon. And first place, former place Kilby, and the now place Lisbon form. Okay, Lisbon. Next, you can see the rhyme scheme of the poem Home the Brought Warrior Dead is AB AB. So answer, it's very easy if you check it. Okay. In the poem Anecdote for Father, the 5-year-old son did not really know why he liked Kilve, knew the reason why he liked Kilve, did not want to walk with his father, asked many questions about Kilve. Answer, did not really know why he liked Kilve. So simply by looking at the and weather cane and gives a reply. So that's what the answer is, guys. Next, he was not very interested to give, but he gives. The person who did not write sonnets was W. Jordan, Shakespeare, Milton, Mulkaj Anand. The answer, Mulkaj Anand. How simple it is. Okay. And in Murder in the Cathedral, the position that Thomas held at the time of his murder was archbishopship. So answer is Archbishopship, Sir Thomas Becket. He was actually a great preacher. Murder in the Cathedral, which is a popular and closet drama composed by T.S. Eliot, deals with the assassination of Sir Thomas Becket, and his profession was archbishopship. Next, the essay How to Live to be 200 says that. Wonderful essay. This essay simply talks about, it's actually satire on the people who have health conscious, who are so worried about their health conscious. So we should do heavy physical exercises to live to be 200. There should be a balance between life's pleasures and exercises to live long. Only the fresh air is the basis. Health is not important. So answer is, there should be a balance between the life's pleasures and exercises to live long. We need to balance that. If you do so, then it would be better. Next, the primary theme of the poem Nightingale and the Rose. Theme of the, not, this is not the poem, this is essay. So answer is here sacrifice. Sacrifice of Nightingale. Sacrifice of Nightingale for the sake of love of the boy and the girl. Next, you can see, next, these lines say that, what is this line? These lines say that the baby wants, okay, they gave a small poem. Okay, they have actually given a small reading comprehension passage where you are required to answer it. Okay, you can see. The thing that horrified the farmer and his daughter, this is also maybe about correct phrasal verb. So my focus is to focus on just literature, guys. So forgive me if you have any doubts. Okay, and they will give you bits based on the setting. Okay, next, any word that is based on literature, anything that is based on literature, that's what I've been looking for. And anything that is based on literature. And all these are with regard to general I guess, not required. Okay, so forget about this paper, 2018 paper, and we'll come back to 2018 June. Okay, 2018 question paper. This again will come back from, and we don't talk about this. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you can see. Nambi would light a lamp under the tree, under the banyan tree. So where this is actually from the short story. After accepting the court sentence, Sherlock said, Merchant of Venice, Antony cheated me, and these are the most unlawful laws. Forgive my sins, I am not well. After accepting the court sentence, Sherlock said, Antony cheated me. These are the most unlawful laws. Forgive my sins, Antony cheated me. The person who lost the chance to marry Portia by choosing the silver casket was, okay, the concept, because this is not a part of your, they have not listed out, but you need to read. Next, the title that Napoleon eventually assumed for himself was King of the Animals, Lord of the Manor Farm, President of the Republic, God of the Beasts. So here, and here Napoleon, this is actually from Animal Farm by George Orwell. The title that Napoleon eventually assumes for himself was king of the animals, lord of the manor farm, and president of the republic. And the animal that voluntarily left the farm was, and the animal that voluntarily left the farm was Molly. Okay. Next, according to Russell, this is about wisdom. And in the essay How to Live to be 200, the writer tries to highlight the importance of exercises to correct the follies of thoughts of the people having health mania. So answer 2. So he actually tries to correct the manners of the people, correct the mindset. In the poem, The World from a Railway Carriage. This is a very simple poem you might have read from the school level. Ecology is a poem which could be read as one single line, a poem of 14 lines, one single line, one only five sentences. Okay, even I'm not aware of it. Forget about. Next, any literary words. Read the following and choose the correct answer to the question. He said it expanded his lungs. In the above sentence, it refers to and taking a cold plunge every morning, lying on stomach, standing and breathing at an open window, lifting iron bars. Answered standing and breathing at an open window. For only half an hour. Later, for 23 and a half hours, he used to close the window. He makes a comment. So answer is here and 3. Next, you can see, read the following lines of the poetry and choose the correct answer to the question. This is actually lines from Home the Broughter Warrior Did. Took the face cloth from the face, yet she neither moved nor wept. These lines say, the woman refuses to grieve. The woman removed cloth from her face. The woman gave her face cloth to somebody. The woman took the face cloth to wipe her tears. The woman refuses to grieve. Though the face cover is removed, still she is not interested to cry. And this is about champaka trees. And our tree read champaka trees. This is again from poem. Point of view reports to. Friends, in literature, there are different technical terms like point of view, setting, and technique of narration, and the study of forms of poetry, drama. Like this is point of view related to how the story is narrated to the readers. How the story is set to the readers is called point of view. It is also called technique of narration. So in literature, till the beginning of 20th century, and most of the short stories and novels were written only in 3 point of views: first person, second person, third person. First person, the writer also becomes a part. Second person, writer becomes objective. Third person, writer is not a part of the story. So that's what, for example, when you read Nightingale and the Rose, writer does not become a part. It is where you can identify point of view third person, he, she, it pronouns. He, she, it, and they. In second person, where you can find you. As a part of first person, where you can identify the pronouns like I and we. So point of view, the number of characters, no, the way a story gets told. Remember, how the story is told, how the story gets told is called point of view. It is also called technique of narration. Don't forget, you will definitely score good marks when you focus on these aspects. The following is a literary epic. Okay, literary epic: War and Peace, Paradise Lost, Beowulf, Divine Comedy. Answer: Paradise Lost. Literary epic, traditional epic. All these are epics. Prose epic, and this is classical epic, and this is traditional epic, and this is literary epic. First greatest epic in English literature, The Paradise Lost. Remember. Next, F. Marian Crawford described the novel: a pocket theater, a feast of feelings, a narration with a color, a narration with entertainment. Even I am not sure about it, and you will get certain definitions where you are required to answer. 1 or 2 bits that you forget like this. Next, you can see the mask. Remember, guys, mask refers to a quote entertainment. ఇప్పుడు ఈ రోజుల్లో ప్రీమియర్ షోస్ వేస్తుంటారు. ప్రీమియర్ షోస్ అంటే ఓన్లీ ఫర్ సమ్ పొలిటికల్ లీడర్స్, సమ్ పాపులర్ హీరోస్ పిలిచి నా సినిమా ఎలా ఉంది చూడండి అని పిలిచి చెప్తారు, చూపిస్తారు. సినిమా చూసిన తర్వాత అబ్బా వండర్ఫుల్ అని మెచ్చుకుంటాం. సో ప్రీమియర్ షో. అలాగే ఇంగ్లీష్ లిటరేచర్ బిగినింగ్ టైంలో, ముఖ్యంగా రినైజాన్స్ టైంలో, వేర్ షేక్స్పియర్ అండ్ బెన్ జాన్సన్ క్రియేటెడ్ స్పెసిఫిక్ స్టేజ్ పర్ఫార్మెన్సెస్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ ది కింగ్స్, రాయల్ పీపుల్, రాయల్ కోర్ట్ వాళ్ళకి మాత్రమే డిజైన్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. అలాంటి వాటిని మనం మాస్క్ అంటాం. సో ద మాస్క్ ఈజ్ అ డ్రామాటిక్ ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ ఇన్ విచ్ ద ప్లాట్, క్యారెక్టర్ అండ్ ఈవెన్ to a great extent and dialogue are subordinated on the one hand to spectacular illustration and on the other musical accompaniment. This is said by అయితే యాక్చువల్గా ఇది ఎప్పుడు పాపులర్ అవుతుందంటే హెన్రీ ద ఎయిత్ టైంలో పాపులర్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ నెక్స్ట్ Melik or lyric song was sung by a single voice, collectively by many people, by only musicians, or male voice and female voice. Lyric song was sung by Melik or lyric song sung by only single voice, guys, maybe male or female. Choose the word with two syllables. మళ్ళీ మనం ఈ లాంగ్వేజ్ గురించి మనకు వద్దు, ఓకేనా? సో మన ఫోకస్ ఓన్లీ ఆన్ లిటరేచర్. సో ఐఎమ్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు టాక్ అబౌట్ అండ్ దీస్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ because my intention is not to discuss. Okay, so very simple bits that you get, guys. Only just try to focus on. If once you focus, everything is easier. Everything is easier. So only there were only 2 question papers previously, and once you look at so for example, when you look at the syllabus, let me give you some basic concepts. Our English paper is going to be language 2 43. Yeah, yes, you can see language 2 content and methodology. Next, later on 43 yeah. So literature, when you talk about the literature, like background of English literature, so your focus should be on poetical types. So when you talk about this literature, poetical types, where you are required to focus on like concepts like what is poetry, some definitions that you can focus on. Poetry refers to spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings and emotions recollected in tranquility, given by Wordsworth. Poetry is breath and finite spirit of all knowledge, given by again Wordsworth. So only some popular definitions: poetry is breath and finite spirit of all knowledge, like that. Poetical types, there are in your syllabus 6 topics were mentioned: sonnet, elegy or pastoral elegy, ballad, lyric, ode, dramatic monologue. So sonnet refers to a poem that is composed in 14 lines, and broadly 2 types: Italian, English. Italian sonnet, which is also introduced by Petrarch, and this sonnet is divided into 2 parts: octava and sestet. Octava 8 lines, sestet 6 lines. Structure 8 plus 6, and rhyme scheme abba abba cdc cdc. Next, again, when you look for English sonnet, composed in 3 quatrains and 1 couplet. Quatrain 4 lines, couplet 2 lines, like that you should focus on. Friends, I gave a lot of bits, and once you look at the previous my what I can say playlist UGC net, some basic concept that I have actually introduced. If possible, you just go through. Already we have gone through 50% of the bits are from the text and 50% are from these concepts. Okay, friends, you will easily get what is simile, an explicit comparison. And like you will get Saurabh fought like a lion, simile. Saurabh is a lion, metaphor. An implicit comparison and metaphor, an explicit comparison and simile. Meta and apostrophe. Apostrophe refers to a direct or indirect address to an absent person, like oh God, alas, or else it usually includes apostrophe, exclamation mark. So like that, oh west wind, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? Oh liberty, what crimes have been committed in their name? Like that. Personification, which is also called pathetic fallacy or prosopopia, this is commonly used to talk about what and these are commonly used to talk about and attributing human sensations to non-living things. For example, I can say the pen is crying, the board is smiling, flowers are smiling at me, like that. Next, metonymy. The moment you look at the pen in the hands, you identify that the person is a teacher. or a latte, policeman, a stethoscope, or a doctor, like that. Those are considered to be metonymy. Synecdoche. Synecdoche refers to a part is used to signify the whole is used to signify the part. Friends, there are 2 or 3 videos on these figures of speeches, and specifically you can watch them and you will have plenty of examples. And you come to know the definitions of tragedy. Tragedy definitions are these days commonly given. And tragedy, which is actually defined by Aristotle. Tragedy refers to the imitation of action that is serious, having magnitude complete in itself, in the medium of poetic and in the matter of dramatic, rather than the narrative presentations, involving the incidents of pity and fear, where with the catharsis of such emotions. Like this, you need to know different definitions. What is comedy? What is choreography? What is prosody? Prosody deals with the study of poetry, study of meter, stanza forms, rhyme scheme, figures of speeches. Next, what is epic? Epic refers to a long poem that is written in a grand style about a grand theme, like The Paddle Lost, Paddle Regained, Beowulf, War and Peace, Divine Comedy, or Aeneid. Plenty of examples. These epics can be categorized into 2 types, literary and traditional. Like that. So, some basic concepts you can focus on these aspects, my friends. And friends, and William Wordsworth, Anecdote for Fathers, and uh, and William Wordsworth, Spring Morning, Home They Brought Her Warrior Dead by Alfred Tennyson. Simple poems that you need to focus on. This Anecdote for Fathers, it is actually a lesson taught to the father, taught to father, because father tries to impose his ideas on and his son. Next, you can see and Alphalot and Spring Morning, which is all about published in 1807 under Resolution and Independence. It deals with simply describing nature because Wordsworth was a nature poet. Next, how to live to be a satire on the people who are so health conscious. Knowledge and wisdom. It talks about the importance of knowledge and wisdom, how people look at knowledge and wisdom. Novel and Oscar Wilde, the Nightingale and the Rose. Leacock, How to Live to Be in 200. So, How to Live to Be and Nightingale and the Rose, it talks about love, sacrifice, and selfishness. Love of boy and girl, sacrifice of nightingale, selfishness of the boy. Okay, and the girl. Next, Stephen Leacock, How to Live to Be 200. It's a satire. And a drama, Murder in the Cathedral. It's a classical drama which deals with the murder of Sir Thomas Becket. And Macbeth, it's a tragedy. So how Macbeth and dies and becomes a tragic hero because of his own mistakes, like that. So you can see these are something about with regard to the concept, like which I can say, friends. And let me also talk about some more. Friends, you can see, let me show you something. Yeah, you have got a poem called uh, Spring Morning. Let me explain in just 5 to 10 minutes, not more than that. Spring Morning. Okay. Friends, you can see Spring Morning, where this actually I designed long back, where it includes a lot of bits. Okay, you can see the poem. And let me read it for you. There was a roaring in the wind all night. The rain came heavily and fell in floods. But now the sun is rising calm and bright, and the birds are singing in the distant woods. Over his own sweet voice, the stock dove broods. The jay makes answer as the magpie chatters, and all the air is filled with pleasant noise of water, and all things that love the sun are out of the doors. The sky rejoices in the morning's birth, and the grass is bright with the raindrops on the moor, and the hair is running races in her mirth, and with her feet she and from the plashy earth rises a mist that glittering in the sun runs with her all the way whenever she does run. Very, this is actually the first poem composed by William Wordsworth under the title Resolution and Independence, published in 1807. This is taken from Resolution and Independence, which is also called Leech Gatherers. Leech Gatherers or Lavanan Sithana. Okay, whatever it may be. In 1807, Resolution and Independence. What is this? See, this simply talks about and Once Wordsworth goes into nature and he looks at different things in the nature, comes back and talks about. That's it. Nothing in this. Okay, see, what is he talking about? There was a roaring in the wind all night, which means it rained heavily. ఓకే. దెర్ వాజ్ ఎ రోరింగ్ ఇన్ ద విండ్ ఆల్ నైట్ చెప్తున్నాడు. ఏమంటున్నాడు? దెర్ వాజ్ రోరింగ్ ఇన్ ద విండ్ ఆల్ నైట్. నిన్న రాత్రి విండ్ బాగా అరిచింది. అంటే ఏంటి? వర్షం గట్టిగా క్లౌడ్స్ అరుస్తూ ఏడ్చాయి. అంటే వర్షం పడింది గట్టిగా. ద రెయిన్ కేమ్ హెవీలీ అండ్ ఫెల్ ఇన్ ఫ్లడ్స్. వర్షం భారీగా పడింది అండ్ కేమ్ ఇన్ ఫ్లడ్స్. బట్ నౌ ద సన్ ఈస్ రైజింగ్ కామ్ అండ్ బ్రైట్ నౌ. బట్ నౌ ద సన్, నిన్న రాత్రి వర్షం పడింది. నెక్స్ట్ దిస్ 2 సెంటెన్సెస్ అబౌట్ ద పాస్ట్ వన్ అండ్ దిస్ వన్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ టుడే. ఎర్లీ మార్నింగ్ ద సన్ ఈజ్ రైజింగ్ కామన్ బయట. ఆహా, ఇప్పుడు సూర్యుడు స్వచ్ఛంగా కామ్గా ప్రకాశిస్తున్నాడు. ద బర్డ్స్ ఆర్ సింగింగ్ ఇన్ ద డిస్టెన్స్ వుడ్స్. దూరంగా పక్షులు నవ్వుతున్నాయి చూడండి. అండ్ ఓవర్ హిస్ ఓన్ స్వీట్ వాయిస్ దట్ స్టాక్ డవ్ అండ్ బ్రూడ్స్. స్టాక్ డవ్ ఇట్స్ ఎ నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద బర్డ్. అండ్ అక్కడ దూరంగా ఉన్నటువంటి ఆ పక్షి తన తీయని వాయిస్తో అడుస్తూ ఉంది, పాట పాడుతూ ఉంది. ఏముంది అందులో? ఓన్లీ ఇట్స్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ డిస్క్రైబింగ్ నేచర్. నిన్న రాత్రి గట్టిగా వర్షం పడింది అండ్ ఆ మేఘాలు గర్జించాయి, వర్షం భారీగా పడింది. నెక్స్ట్ సూర్యుడు ఇప్పుడు ఉదయిస్తున్నాడు కామ్గా. దూరంగా పక్షులు ఏం చేస్తున్నాయి? నెక్స్ట్ పాటలు పాడుతున్నాయి. నెక్స్ట్ స్టాక్డ్ బర్డ్ కూడా పాడుతుంది. ఇంతే, ఏముంది అందులో? నెక్స్ట్ ద జే మేక్స్ ఆన్సర్ యాజ్ ద మ్యాక్పీ చార్టర్స్. జే అండ్ మ్యాక్పీ అగైన్ బర్డ్స్. ఇక్కడ జే మ్యాక్పీ చేసేటువంటి సౌండ్స్కి మనం కు అంటే ఇంకొక కు అంటుంది. సో అలా ఇక్కడ మ్యాక్పీ చేసేటువంటి సౌండ్స్కి జే ఆన్సర్ ఇస్తుంది అని అంటున్నాడు. అండ్ ఆల్ ద ఎయిర్ ఇస్ ఫిల్డ్ విత్ ప్లెజెంట్ నాయిసెస్ వాటర్. అంటే స్టిల్ యూ కెన్ ఫైండ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ రైట్ నౌ. మొత్తం ప్రకృతి అంతా వర్షంతో నీటితో నిండి ఉన్నది. ఆల్ థింగ్స్ దట్ లవ్ ద సన్ ఆర్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద డోర్స్. దాచుకున్నాయి. రాత్రి భారీ వర్షం పడితే చెట్లు పుట్లు రకరకాల క్రిమి కీటకాలు. సో ఆల్ థింగ్స్ అంటే ఆల్ క్రియేచర్స్, హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్, యానిమల్స్, బర్డ్స్ ఇంట్లో దాచుకున్నవి ఇప్పుడు వర్షం లేదు కాబట్టి బయటకు వచ్చాయి. నెక్స్ట్ ద స్కై రిజాయిసెస్ ఇన్ ద మార్నింగ్స్ బర్త్. ఆకాశం చాలా సంతోషపడుతుంది. ఎందుకు? ఉదయిస్తున్నందుకు. ఎందుకంటే గత రాత్రి 2 రాత్రులు గట్టిగా మేఘాలతో కమ్మి ఉన్నది. ద గ్రాస్ ఇస్ బ్రైట్ విత్ ద రెయిన్ డ్రాప్స్ ఆన్ ద మోర్. ద గ్రాస్ ఇస్ బ్రైట్. ఆహా, గడ్డి మెరుస్తూ ఉన్నది. నెక్స్ట్ ఆన్ ద మోర్. మోర్ అంటే చిన్న చిన్న గుంత. ఆ గుంతలో ఉన్నటువంటి వాటర్ ఏమవుతుంది? మెరుస్తూ ఉంటుంది. అంటే గ్రాస్ మెరుస్తుంది, చిన్న గుంతలో ఉన్నటువంటి గుంతలో సూర్యుని యొక్క కిరణాలు పడ్డప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? అది కూడా మెరుస్తూ ఉంటుంది. సో మెరుస్తూ ఉన్నది అని చెప్తున్నాడు. ద హెయిర్ ఇస్ రన్నింగ్ రేసెస్ ఇన్ అట్ మిర్త్. కొందేలు సంతోషంతో పరుగులు తీస్తున్నది బయటకు వచ్చి. అండ్ విత్ హర్ ఫీట్ షీ ఫ్రమ్ ద ప్లాషీ ఎర్త్ రేజెస్ ఎ మిస్ట్ దట్ గ్లిటరింగ్ ఇన్ ద సన్. అంటే ఇక్కడ హర్ ఫీట్ అంటే హెయిర్. అంటే ఇక్కడ పోయిట్ కంపేర్డ్ హెయిర్ విత్ షీ. నెక్స్ట్ రైజెస్ ఎ మిస్ట్ దట్ గ్లిటరింగ్ ద సన్ అండ్ రన్స్ విత్ హర్ ఆల్ ద వే వెన్ ఎవర్ షీ డస్ రన్. ఇక్కడ షీ అనేది హెయిర్ అనమాట. మన కుందేలు సూర్యుని యొక్క అంశానికి మంచిగా నవ్వుతూ ఉన్నది. నెక్స్ట్ ప్లాషీ ఎర్త్ అండ్ విత్ హర్ ఫీట్ షీ ఫ్రమ్ ద ప్లాషీ ఎర్త్ రైజెస్ ఎ మిస్ట్. ఇప్పుడు అప్పుడే ఉదయిస్తూ ఉన్నది, ఇంకా మిస్ట్ ఉంది. ఎక్కడ తిరిగినా మిస్ట్, ఆ పొగమంచు చుట్టూ తిరుగుతూ ఉన్నది. గ్లిటరింగ్ ఇన్ ది సన్ అంటే షీ అండ్ పొగమంచు మెరుస్తూ ఉన్నది అండ్ హెయిర్ కూడా మెరుస్తూ ఉన్నది. రన్స్ విత్ హర్ ఆల్ ద వే వేర్ ఎవర్ షీ డస్ రన్. ఇక్కడ ఎవరి చుట్టూ తిరుగుతూ ఉంది ఇంతకీ అంటే ఆ పొగమంచు మెరుస్తూ ఈ కుందేలు చుట్టూ తిరుగుతూ ఉన్నది అని చెప్తున్నాడు. వెరీ సింపుల్ పోయం. చూడండి, ఇక్కడ మీకు చాలా వాట్ డస్ ద ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ఆల్ థింగ్స్ మీన్ ఇన్ లైన్ ఆల్ క్రియేచర్స్. నెక్స్ట్ వై డూ ఆల్ థింగ్స్ ఇన్ నేచర్ కమ్ అవుట్ టు మీట్ ద మార్నింగ్ సన్ ఆఫ్టర్ ఎ నైట్ లాంగ్. అంటే సన్ అపియర్స్ యాజ్ ఎ రిలీఫ్. వై డస్ ఎ calamity disturb us? Because it disturbs in pattern. What does the stormy dark night symbolize horror and heavy rain. And why does the grass shine? Water drenched grasses shine flooding. Water drenched grasses ఎందుకు మెరుస్తూ ఉన్నది గడ్డి అంటే బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద రెయిన్ డ్రాప్స్. నెక్స్ట్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, యూ కెన్ సీ వై డస్ ద ఎయిర్ రన్ ఆల్ అరౌండ్? బికాస్ ఇట్ ఇస్ హ్యాపీ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద బై లుకింగ్ ఎట్ ద సన్. నెక్స్ట్ వై డు వి వాంట్ ఎ రిలీఫ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎ calamity? నాట్ రిక్వైర్డ్. In this poem, what comes after and as a relief after a stormy night? Morning sun. Antena, morning sun becomes a relief to all creatures. There was a roaring in the wind all night is an example for there was a roaring in the wind. Wind roar చేసింది. సాధారణంగా రోడ్ చేసేటోళ్ళు ఎవరు? లయన్ చేస్తుంది. కానీ ఇక్కడ విండ్ రోడ్ చేస్తుందని చెప్తుంది కాబట్టి ఇట్స్ ఎ మెటఫర్, ఇంప్లైడ్ మెటఫర్. In line 11, the pronoun her refers to, and ikkada mist, hair అవుతుంది అనమాట. In the poem Spring Morning, the poet compared the wind with angry person or and calm angry person. Identify the odd word from the word. ఇప్పుడు మనకు అప్పుడప్పుడు ఇట్లా అడుగుతుంటాడు. బ్రూడ్స్ జా అవుతుంది, ఎందుకంటే ఎస్ ముందున్నటువంటి సౌండ్ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే ఎస్ ముందున్నటువంటి సౌండ్ వాయిస్డ్ జా అవుతుంది. డోడ్స్ జా, చార్టెడ్స్ జా, కుక్స్ సా. కాబట్టి డిసిమిలర్ ఇది. The following poem is not written by Wordsworth. Spring Morning, yes. Anecdote for Fathers, yes. Lyrical Ballads, yes. Sensi, P.B. Shelley. The word rejoices lo es ఏమవుతుంది, is, rejoices. ఇలా ప్రొనౌన్సియేషన్ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే వేర్ ఇట్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇట్లాంటి బిట్స్ అడుగుతుంటాడు. rejoices. సో చివరికి ఏమవుతుంది, ఇస్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ ద అబోవ్ పోయమ్ ఈజ్ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్, ఇంతకీ పద్యం దేనికి ఉదాహరణ? సానెట్, బ్యాలెడ్, ఎలిజీ అండ్ మొనోడీ. ఇట్స్ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ ballad. So does it have, and how many lines you can see? 4 plus 4, so 12 lines మాత్రమే. It is not sonnet కాదు. So it's an example for, it's a ballad. ఎందుకంటే is it a ballad, elegy, monody, sonnet? Actually it's an example for lyric poem. Okay, the following is not a character of the poem. ఇట్లా కూడా అడుగుతారు. స్ట్రక్డ్ ఉంది, హెయిర్ ఉంది, మ్యాక్పీ ఉంది, నైటింగేల్ లేదు. సో ఆన్సర్ 4. ఐడెంటిఫై డిసిమిలర్ వర్డ్, ఇదంతగా వద్దు. And the sky rejoices in the morning's birth is an example for the sky rejoices personification. సాధారణంగా మనుషులు సంతోషపడతారు, ఇక్కడ ఆకాశం సంతోషపడుతుంది అని చెప్పడం personification. In the last stanza, the pronouns she and her refer to, okay, and the hair. In the last stanza, the pronouns that refer to and mist. The phrase distant woods. William Wordsworth was dash romantic poet. The following is not a noise heard in the spring morning. ఏం వినలేదు. A sweet voice from Stockdow, correct. Pleasant noise of the following flowing water, correct. Next, the answers of J to Magpie, the noise in the wind all night. So answer 4th one. The rhyme scheme అడుగుతారు. రైమ్ స్కీమ్ మనం ఎలా గుర్తుపట్టాలి అంటే you need to look for like this. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇట్లా అనుకోవాలి. You need to just like night, ఏ అనుకోండి. Floods, okay, B అనుకోండి. Bright, A. Woods, floods, woods, B. Next, broods, B. సో AB, AB, B. సో రైమ్స్కి మనం ఇట్లా అనుకోవాలి. ఇప్పుడు మనకి మ్యాథమెటిక్స్లో X ఈక్వల్ టు ఏ అనుకుంటున్నాం కదా, అలా అనుకోవాలి. సో ఏ నైట్, బ్రైట్, ఫ్లడ్స్, వుడ్స్ అండ్ బ్రూడ్స్. నెక్స్ట్ అదేవిధంగా చార్టర్డ్స్, వాటర్స్, సిసి. చార్టర్డ్స్, వాటర్స్, డోడ్స్, డో, మో అండ్ బర్త్. సో ఇలా రైమ్ స్కీమ్ ఏబి, ఏబిబి ఫస్ట్ వన్ అవుతుంది. ఐడెంటిఫై ద డిప్థాంగ్ నైట్. విలియం వర్డ్స్వర్త్ ఈజ్ అసోసియేటెడ్ విత్ లెక్సికల్ పోయిట్స్. వర్డ్స్వర్త్ కాల్డ్ సుతే ముగ్గురిని. హూ సెడ్ ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ ఇస్ మై హాంట్? వర్డ్స్వర్త్ చెప్తాడు. Who of the following is a contemporary of Wordsworth? Walter Savage Landor, Edmund Burke, Oliver Goldsmith, Lord Byron. Kanodu Veedu, Oliver Goldsmith. Wordsworth married Mary Atkinson. Which of the following is not a lexical poet? Sorry, who of the following? Robert Southey, Wordsworth, ST College, P.B. Shelley, Cardo. Next, Wordsworth became poet laureate in 1843 to 750. And the poem Spring Morning is taken from Resolution and Independence. And sorry, mistake, not 1802, 1807. 1807, remember. It's a print mistake, 1807. 1807. 1807. మీకు రేపు అడిగితే ద స్ప్రింగ్ మార్నింగ్ is published in 1807. Okay, next. Which of the following is the work by Wordsworth? It is example for his spiritual autobiography, The Prelude, 1850. Poem Anecdote for Fathers is collected from Lyrical Ballad, 1798. The following is not the thematic aspect of Wordsworth. Prospectus, common life, traditionalism, pantheism. Traditionalism కాదు. Who coined the term spots of time? Wordsworth. Wordsworth published Lyrical Ballads along with S.T. Coleridge. Whose age is also called the age of Revolution? Wordsworth. Okay, and you can see the following statement is related to the concept of Wordsworth. Poetry is forced and mirror wrong. Poet is free from conventions but followed wrong. Poet is breath and finance but follow knowledge. This is correct. Third one, the following is the incomplete work. Incomplete work ఏంటంటే the reckless, the borderets, ఇవి రెండు, the borderets. Who is the representative writer of the romantic period? Wordsworth. Okay, now friends, so this is what I wanted to talk about. Okay, next, if time permits, I will definitely talk about an anecdote for fathers. Okay, now guys, see you, and I'll definitely try to talk about Macbeth and Macbeth, at least question paper, like in the form of question paper, Macbeth and anecdote for fathers. Okay, guys, see you. Thank you, and try to share our information to your friends.